Airman Ogden, what do you call home?
Fort Worth, Texas.
What did you do before you got into this outfit?
I work for a paint and body shop back there.
What do you expect to do when you get out?
Well, I'm trying to go to school for a while, then learn a trade and go back, start working again.
How long have you been over here?
I've been here since November.
You've been in about all of it, haven't you?
Yes, I was here for the 10 offensive and been here so far.
Tell us about what happened to you.
Well, February the 18th, which was our first rocket attack, I got hurt, and well, they gave me the Purple Heart. I spent some time in the hospital, and then I came back here. But right now I feel all right. My mother was worried about me and all that, but the main thing I want to get across to my mother is that I'm feeling all right, not to worry about me.
Yeah, I think from looking at you, you look real healthy, and you seem full of fun, and you didn't want to talk about this.
Well, now everybody here, all the guys here make fun of me because I'm the only guy in my sector who received the Purple Heart, and I've lost a lot of weight, so they might not recognize me back home.
How come the loss of weight? Was that anything to do with the wound?
No, I lost some while I was here, and then when I got hurt, I lost some more in the hospital. But I'm trying to gain it now. I hope I do by the time I leave here, which is November, and I'm glad.
That you feel pretty good all the way around, though.
Oh, yes, I'll be glad to leave this place. I mean, you know, I'm here, but I do the best I can here, but I'm ready to leave anytime.
Miss home?
Yes, I do.
How about your folks? Would you like to say something special or personal to them? I know your mother's been worried about you.
Well, Mom, I just want to say that I'm still here, and don't worry about me. I'm okay. I want to say hello to Dad and my brothers. I want to say hello to my girl, so she'll be watching, I hope.
Okay. Thank you, and good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Peters, you have a pretty unusual job out here. Could you explain it to us, please?
Yes, I work at night out here around the base on the quad 50s. During the day we have people on standby, which in case anything comes up, they go out, but I work particularly at night.
What exactly is a quad 50?
It's 4 single 50s mounted on a turf, which rotates all the way around the circle or up and down, mounted on a deuce and a half, 2.5 ton truck.
You use them pretty regularly at night, don't you?
Yes, all the time at night, during hours of darkness.
They get a hold of a Viet Cong and pretty well tear him up, and what happens if it doesn't?
Well, it psychologically is scaring him pretty bad. If it hits him, he's dead.
What do you think about most when you think about home?
Well, I wish this at home, but there's a job to be done over here, so while I'm in the Air Force, I spend my time over here.
You get pretty lonely over here?
No, not that bad.
Not bad duty?
No, not at all.
Esprit de corps seems pretty great.
Yeah, it's a pretty good place. As far as being over here, you know. Not as good as being back in the States, but it's pretty good.
Anybody you want to say hello to?
Yeah, I'll say hello to my mother and my folks back home.
Well, they miss you. They wrote us in and told them to tell you they were behind you, and so were about 10,000 others who wrote letters in.
Yeah, she wrote me and told me I was coming over.
Good deal. Well, I'm glad that I've got to meet you. I'm sorry we had to meet on this side of the ocean.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks a million.
Yeah,
and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sergeant Carroll, this is beautiful weather we're having here.
Lovely for ducks.
I understand you drew an upper berth in the barracks here at Thompson.
Right.
This presents some kind of problems?
Had to be fleet-footed. Especially when rockets come in, you don't bother with the steps. You make it from the landing to the ground as about as fast as you can.
How often does this come in? Do you think this is pretty effective psychological warfare?
Well, you can't stop them while they're in the air, but they've done quite a bit to stop them on the ground. We take it this is a matter of course now.
You have some wife and some children back in the States. Would you like to say anything to them?
Just be good. I'll be home when I can.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Come on, Ryan, how many more days do you have in the Air Force?
Got 72.
That's in the Air Force?
Yes, sir.
And you leave Vietnam, go home, and get out?
That's right.
Looking forward to it?
I sure am. I've been in too long.
Yeah. Like the weather, don't you?
Not really. It's too hot and it's too wet.
Yeah, it's a little different from that dry stuff we have back in Texas.
Yes, sir, that's right.
I understand you're quite a sports fan. You have any ideas on Texas Stadium, the Cowboys, and maybe school when you do get home and so on?
Well, of course, I like the Cowboys, and I like their idea of moving to Irving. And I guess that's about all I can say on that. I'll be going to school, going to Arlington when I get back. And,
you heard about the situation in Arlington? They've changed, decided to do away with the rebel theme, basically, and so on.
No, I really hadn't heard about it. Over here, you don't hear a lot about the schools and things like that. So I didn't really know too much about it. I guess it's a good thing because of the situation back in the States.
What are you going to study when you get back there?
Engineering.
Have parents back there, friends, relatives, loved ones, I'm sure, all around Irving, having lived there all your life. Like to say anything to them?
Well, I like to say hello to my wife and my parents and tell them I'll be home as soon as I can, about 72 days.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sergeant Hackett, what specifically are your duties here at Tonsonot?
Well, I process all of the incoming and outgoing correspondence that comes and goes in the 834th Air Division Directive Operations. We take care of the officers' performance reports, airmen performance reports, awards and decorations for all of the flying personnel.
In taking care of all of this paperwork and so on, you must get a pretty good idea of the outlook of the men on the base.
I would think so, yes, sir, Mr. Goody. Yes, sir, I think so.
How do you feel their morale is?
Well, I can't speak for the base. I speak for the division, and I say the morale is 100% here, Mr. Goody.
They don't seem to be bothered then with the many intricacies of the war?
No, not too much. It seems complex sometimes, but not too bad. I think we have a good understanding of what's going on here, and the morale's good, sir.
Now, what is this thing behind us here?
Oh, this thing? Well, this is something we built to try to survive when they try to kill us here pretty regular. We'd run right in there and hide.
Is this during the rocket attacks and so on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's where we go. So you stick close to it, you might want to get in there yourself.
Thank you, sir. I'll look forward to seeing you in there if any come over.
All right. Thank you very much.
Estes, what about the war over here?
I think should be over here. I think we ought to be able to do a little more than we're doing. With the peace talks and all now, we've kind of held off. I think we ought to wait a little while longer, see if anything's going to happen. But if it doesn't, I think we ought to really get in over here and get something done, more than we have now.
What is your job specifically?
I work on airborne radar on the RF-4C, which is a reconnaissance airplane. And it's used mostly for night flying where the pilot can't see where he's going and he follows the radar instead of...
And what else, what does this have to do with attacking, so on and so forth, at night?
Well, these birds are photo planes, and at night they can take pictures at night. And we've got about 40 planes here, and most of them have been doing night flying there lately.
Your sister sent your name in to us, and I think she's living with some people you'd like to say hello to.
Yeah, she's living with my grandmother and grandfather there in Dallas, and I'd like to say hello to them. I hope they're all feeling real good. And
how much long until you get there?
Oh, I've got 10 more months to go.
Oh, boy.
Got a little while yet.
Sergeant Siegler, I think I used to see you around the recruiting office in Dallas, didn't you?
Yes, I was there for a little over 4 years. Be glad to get back.
What are you doing over here?
Well, I'm with the Field Maintenance Squad in training, help training the young airmen that we're getting in from the States now.
First thing you said to me when you saw me was what happened to baseball over there and a little bit about the Cowboys. Would you like to relay that to the people?
Yes, certainly myself, plus a lot of the other guys here in Vietnam, was very disappointed that we didn't get baseball in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Felt sure that we would get it, but maybe sooner or later we will. As for the Cowboys, I'd like to see them go all the way this year.
How about that new stadium?
Well, I'm happy that they are getting a new stadium. I certainly think the Cotton Bowl is outdated. I would like to see them built it in Dallas, but I'm just happy we're getting a new stadium.
Think an awful lot about hometown things over here in Vietnam?
Well, we're kept pretty busy. We work a 12-hour shift and usually 7 days a week, and we're kept real busy, but I still think about coming back home, seeing my wife, family and all.
Like to say anything to them at this time?
Yes, I'd like to say hello to my wife who lives in Fort Worth now. We're buying a home in Arlington when I get back, and sure we'll be glad to be back.
You got a couple of boys back home you're pretty proud of?
Yes, I do. Have David, Jerry, have out of school now, present time, vacation with her grandmother in Dallas. And I'm very proud of them.
You're going to be going to see him pretty soon?
Yes, I'm getting pretty short now. That's what as they say here, I should leave here around the 15th of July.
Well, it's kind of hot back there, but I think you'll be prepared for it.
Yes, it is hot here, and I believe I'll feel a lot better back home. With,
more ways than one.
Yes, more ways than one, you're right.
you know that some 10,500 miles away back in the States, your wife had written to us telling us to come to see you?
No, I sure appreciate that, honey. Letting me know about that. I walked over here to the orderly room and found Mr. Gooding, his cameraman, taking pictures of people from Texas, and I didn't know anything. Thanks a million. I appreciate it.
Airman Evans, how do you feel about duty here at Tonsanuk?
Well, I can't say that it's the best duty, but I like it, I guess.
How does it compare with what you've seen before and had in the States, and then I think you were up in Thailand, so?
Well, I never really had any duty to speak of in the States, but from here in Thailand, it's about the same because the mission is essentially the same.
I think you're learning a whole lot more here, or this experience is going to benefit you?
Yes, I do, because we're working longer hours, and I just think that I'm getting very experienced. I had to learn faster than if I had got stationed in the States.
What about this war that we're engaged in? Do you get any feelings about it one way or the other?
Well, my feelings are mixed, but I can't really say too much about it because I'm no war expert, but I feel that we should be here.
Your mother sent in your name, you know, some 10,500 miles away. You happy about that?
I don't know. I'll have to talk to her about that when I get home.
I understand she has a surprise coming up pretty soon.
Well, yes, but I'm not going to tell her.
Okay, we'll keep it a surprise.
Okay.
Rex, or is it Tex? Where's your twin brother?
This is Rex. Tex is on leave.
What do you do here in Long Bend?
Well, I'm an A&D clerk at the 24th Vac, and we go out to the choppers and take patients off of it and take them into ER, the emergency room, and we get all the information that's needed on these patients. Then we take their clothes off and take them over to pre-op for surgery.
It's pretty rough, doesn't it?
At times it does. You really see some men that come up, and they're really bad, but you just kind of get used to it. Well, you don't ever get used to it, but you just adjust.
What about the first one you ever had?
Well, the first patient I ever had, my buddy told me to go back there and meet him. I went back there and started asking him questions, and he was pretty bad, and I just couldn't do it. I just had to walk out. And my buddy come back there and grabbed me on the shoulder and said, "That's all right." He did it for me. And now I can do it okay.
Your brother's at home at the present time, you say?
Right, my brother, he went home on the 6th of this month for a 30-day leave. He's coming back for 6 more months.
You going to extend?
Yes, I'll probably extend for about 45 days so I can ETS that Army when I get back.
Want to say anything to your mother?
Yes, I'd like to tell her I love them and take care.
Jimmy, nice weather you're having here. How do you like Saigon?
Well, I like Saigon all right. The weather's kind of warm, especially this time of the year.
Right. Feel a little bit warm, and then it rains, and then stops. And
After the rain, it's really hot then.
you have any real complaints about Saigon?
No complaints at all. I like my job fine.
What do you do?
I drive for Colonel Osborne.
What do you get to do? What are the advantages of driving for Colonel Osborne?
Well, not much work, really. I just take care of the sedan and the Jeep and just drive him wherever he wants to go.
Where do you live?
We live in a house out in Cholan.
Rough, huh?
It's terrible.
Well, listen, you say Cholan. Now, Cholan's under attack, isn't it?
Not too often. It's quiet out there now.
I see. And what are your primary duties, basically?
Just take care of the sedan and take him wherever he wants to go.
Like to say anything to the Dallasites out there?
I'd like to tell everybody hello, especially my mom and dad,
Huh?
my girl.
Oh, what's her name?
Her name's Linda.
Okay. We won't go any further.
Okay.
Hoping to get home, or do you really enjoy it over here? Have you ever had any better duty?
No, I just came out of AIT over here. I didn't really do anything. I like this fine. I'm anxious to get home, though.
Yeah.
But I like over here fine.
Sergeant Womack, where are you from?
Mineral Wells, Texas, sir.
And how do you like it out here?
Well, I could like it better. I'd like to be back in the States, but since I'm here, I'd like to be here, I guess.
I understand you have a very important mission out here on the old dock.
All right, well, we support all the combat troops, all all the supplies, material that comes for the combat troops come right through here. So we feel like we have a very important mission here, but it gets a little boring sometime, but I guess it's a good job.
You mentioned Don Meredith a little bit earlier. You a Cowboy fan?
Oh, yes, I'm a Cowboy fan. I was in Dallas Station in Duncanville when the Dallas Texans and the Dallas Cowboys were organized back in 1960. So I watch them on TV all the time when I'm in the States.
The heat there get you used to the heat over here?
No, it's not near as humid there as it is here. I had a lot of time in El Paso when it was dry, but I came over here, I thought I'd be used to the heat, but it's humidity that gets you.
I'm not either.
I see you are.
Well, I look forward to seeing you again, and good luck. I hear you going on R&R.
Right, 5 days. My wife and 3 children meet me in Hawaii.
Mike, how long have you been in the Army, and how long have you been stationed here?
Well, I've been in the Army for 18, almost 19 months, and I've been stationed here almost 9 months.
What do you call this area where you're stationed?
This is the barge site at Newport Depot.
I notice right outside you have a pretty big sandbagged protective room, I suppose. Can you make it there, and have you been shelled?
The time allotted, it's impossible to make it there on the first time you get hit, and usually you make it there, and we have been shelled.
Pretty badly, or what about it?
No, it said in the newspapers we were shelled once every 5 minutes for 5.5 hours.
Did you get pretty frightened during this time, or does it become, does it ever become just a natural thing to look out for and to run from?
Well, everyone's scared when you get hit, and you get used to the noise, that's all I'm saying.
You're looking forward to going home, and I understand that you've done quite a little traveling in your time.
Yes, I am looking forward to going home, and I've done a lot of traveling.
Where will home be when you leave this place?
I don't know. It might be many places, like Bangkok. I don't know.
Mike, in your work here and so on and so forth, what exactly do you do? What do you call yourself, and what's your job here?
Well, I'm in charge of documentation, all documentation paperwork at the barge site here, and I take care of shipping and receiving barges, trucks, LCUs, mike boats, and anything concerning paperwork here.
In the meantime, keep your head down.
All right, sir.
And how long have you been here?
Approximately 8 months.
And how long have you been married?
About 30 days, 9 months, 30 days before I came over.
Oh, missing your wife just a little bit?
Very much.
Anything you'd like to say to her at this time?
I'd like to say to her that I miss her tremendously. I'm looking forward to seeing her in the very near future. And that I should have written more than I have, but my work is demanding, and I felt dedicated toward the people here. Since I've been here, I've been working with them, and I like to say that through working with them, I've learned to understand their problems more and what we can do to help them.
That's great, thank you. What about, what are you going to do when you get home?
After I complete my tour here, I have another year left in the service. I plan to, after finishing service, attending graduate school.
Sergeant, what are you doing out here?
I wonder about that sometimes myself. I've been in the Army about a little over 2 years, and I've been in signal most of the time. And when I came over here, I was originally supposed to be in an MP unit, but they assigned me to this 71st Battalion down here, and they're trying to make a stevedore out of me. I've been on the ship about a month, and didn't like it up there too much, and so I spent the rest of my time on the shore, and I've been doing pretty good down there. But we work about 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Generally, we get about 2 days a month off, and we work pretty hard. It's hot over here, and we work a month days, then a month nights, and it's pretty tiring. I don't have but 9 months to do. When I came over here, I had 9 months, and I've got 7 left now, ETS from here, and that's about what I'm looking forward to right now.
What are you going to do when you go home?
I'm planning on going back to school. I went a year in Nacogdoches. and I'm planning on starting back there. And I think the Army helped me out a little bit financially, I guess.
Any other way?
I'll have some experiences, I guess. I spent 13 months in Korea, and I was back in the States 6 months, and they sent me back over here. And really, I can say I've been, you know. I think a lot of people that come over here are really glad to say they've been here when they do leave. And there are some that sort of like to get out, you know. And then there's others stay over here 3, 4 years. I met guys that's been over here ever since this war started. And
what are you gonna say when you first meet your mom and dad?
well, hadn't figured that out yet.
You got any special girl at home?
Oh no, I sort of run around with all of them, you know, if I get a chance.
Okay. Warrant Officer Newhauser, I understand you're going on leave.
That is not for sure yet, but yesterday I did put in for a compassionate leave to go home due to my wife's problems and my family problems at home. The paperwork, of course, has got to go to higher headquarters, and we must try to either it'll be disapproved or approved by them.
You may be home then when this actually appears.
That's very true.
I hope you hope.
So. I hope so anyway.
Right. How about, where are you situated over here?
I'm at Benoit, next to the airstrip itself.
How about the duty over in this area?
The duty I have this time is much better than it was last time. This is my second tour in Vietnam, and the duty I have this time is much better. I'm in a much better location, and actually I'm not doing near as much flying. I have a job as supply officer instead of just a flight job. I don't see as much of the contact or as much of the war as I did last time. But from what I have seen, I cannot truthfully say that I see the progress that we should be making. This is, of course, a personal opinion, but I just hope that everybody at home will understand that we are doing the best we can. I'd like to say hello to my wife. Hi, I love you, and Teresa. And hello to Barbie, Kay, and sweet little gal of my sister's, and my sister and her husband. And all of my friends.
All in the Dallas area, basically?
They're all in the Dallas basic area.
Thank you very much, sir. Major Madison, what do you do out here?
Well, I'm a platoon leader with the 135th Aviation Company stationed at Black Horse. We're in the 11th ARC area up in the mountains here.
You fly Bell helicopters?
Yes, we fly the Huey Gunship.
What do you think about it?
Oh, it's a great aircraft. We've had a lot of fun in most of our little operations we've had around here.
What do you mean by fun?
Well, occasionally we get an opportunity to shoot quite a few, Charlie, and of course that makes the whole effort worthwhile. See?
You have a mother, wife, children. Would you like to say anything to them and tell us who they are?
Well, yes, my mother, Mrs. Redmond, lives in Dallas on Alameda. My wife, Dorothy, who lives in Austin with my 2 daughters, Michelle and the little one we call Millie. Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say to them?
Well, nothing more than just hello, and expect to be home sometimes around the middle of September.
Great, and thank you very much, sir. Warrant Officer Bennett, somebody sent us 10,500 miles to come over here and bring you some love and say hello to you. Guess who it is?
Thank you, Bob. It's my wife.
Would you like to say anything to her in return?
Yeah, I'd like to say hello to my wife, Karen, and my son, Stephen, 5 months old. And sure be glad to get home.
Have you seen Stephen?
Yes, I went back on leave in April, and he was 3 months old then.
When are you going to go back for good?
Well, I'm going back for good in October.
What kind of duty do you perform here? What's your job and so on?
I'm the maintenance officer for the 195th Assault Helicopter Company, and I'm attached to the 609th as our teach lead detachment.
What do you think of the duty over here? What about these helicopters? We've heard a lot of good reports from the people that fly them. What about you guys that maintain them?
Well, I both maintain them and test fly them, and I think the Huey is probably the best helicopter for its job over here now.
Have any feelings about the things that are going on back home? We have riots, draft card burners, you take it, a lot of things happening back there. Some people say it's better to be over here. How do you feel about it?
Well, sometimes I think there's less chance to get shot over here than there is, especially if you're a politician. I think the people that are doing all the rioting and the people that are burning the draft cards don't really know what's going on. I think if they were over here and they saw what was going on, they'd change their feelings about it. We're over here at the government's request, and we don't like to be here any more than I don't like to be here any more than anybody else, but we got a job to do, and that's what we're doing.
Chief, how long have you been a chief?
Oh, about 2 weeks or something like that.
I understand you fly these birds out here.
Right, gunships. There's, of course, a difference of the slicks and the gunships.
Can you tell us some experience you've had?
Well, right here about a week ago on our night mission to Firefly, we caught about 15 in the open and got them all. It's real. If you catch them in the open, I'd never caught them in the open before, and it's something else.
A little different from catching them in the covering.
Oh, right. Well, you never usually see them. They'll hit spider holes and bunkers and things like that in tunnels. You never catch them out in the open anyway. At least I never had. And it was just a great experience.
What do you think about the experience with the ship that you fly?
Oh, well, that's great. I've flown the gunship the whole time. I've been over here 11 months now, and gee, I wouldn't fly anything else.
I think you have relatives in Fort Worth, don't you? Would you like
right.
to say anything to them?
All right, my mother and grandmother and brothers and their kids.
Say what you'd like.
Well, just got about 25 days ago, and I should be glad to get out of this place. I'll tell you that.
Good luck. Thank you, sir. Renfro, what's your job here?
I'm a mechanic on helicopters, UH-1B helicopters.
You still doing that stuff?
Yes. Here until about 3 days ago, I was asked for one to be put in the armament section of 334th Company.
Your parents rode in. You like to say anything to them?
I'd like to tell them hello. And I wish I was back in Texas, but I got to stay over here for a little while.
What's the first thing you're going to do when you get back to Texas?
Probably get married.
Who's the lucky girl?
Sharon Moses.
You want to say anything to Sharon?
Hello, Sharon, I love you.
There you go. How much longer do you have here?
About 10 months.
A little while, and
yes, sir, it is. A pretty good while.
Specialist 4, North Fleet, you've got a great event in front of you, and we just want you to talk about it.
Well, first of all, I'd like to send all my love right now to my wife, Sherry. She was the one that made it possible for me to be on right now. And I'd like to say that her and I are going to have our first child in first week of July. And that's going to be one of the biggest events in our life. And it's just hard to believe right now, and I just don't know how I'll be able to take it. But it makes me real happy.
Makes you happy that it's happening, but sad that you're over here.
Oh, that's true. I hate like heck that I'm over here, but I'd love to be home. But the only way I'd get home right now if something went wrong with a childbirth, and if that's the case, I'd just soon stay over here.
What are you going to name the little one?
Well, if it's a boy, we decided we'd name it Anthony Bryan, and if it's a girl, we decided we'd call it Angela Elaine.
Any special reason?
Oh, no, not particularly. We were just trying to think of real pretty names for our baby, and that's just about the best we could do on the spur of the moment.
I understand from the tower you sound very official. Would you like to give any very official advice to your wife before you say goodbye here?
Well, all I'd like to say is for her to take real good care of herself and the baby, and that's about it, I guess.
You'll see her in how many days?
149 days.
Specialist King, what do you do here?
Sir, I'm an avionics repairman here with the 622nd, and we provide direct support for the 120th Helicopter Company here at Long Bend.
You know, we had a letter from your wife back home, and one of the reasons we're here.
Yes, sir. I thank her very much for writing in and making this possible. I'd like to wish my wife a happy anniversary. We have a first wedding anniversary coming up June 27th.
Oh, fabulous. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to also thank my wife for the wonderful job she's doing on her mail. We, in Vietnam, we depend very much on our mail here, and she writes every day, and I thank her very much for it.
I noticed some of the guys we've talked to, in fact, have said along the way, on camera and off camera, that they wish they would get more mail. At times they said they were too busy to answer some of it, but they do receive it and are grateful for receiving it when they can get it and would like more of it if possible. Would you like to comment on any of that?
Yes, it's very true. Every day we get 2 mail calls here at Long Bend, one at noon and one in the evening. And every day that's first place you stop before chow is you go to the mail room and see if you have any mail. And that's sort of depressing for some of the men day after day not to receive any mail. And it's good to urge people at home to write because these men do depend on it so much.
So they can do, oh, go ahead.
Oh, excuse me. Myself, I have a sufficient time here in the avionics shop. I have good time to write, but some of the boys out in the field, they don't, and I understand their problems. But they do receive it, and this is very good.
So the people at home basically can help the morale problem very much by, not the problem, but can help the morale by writing.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. It makes a man's day, his mail, certainly does.
Spec 5 Huff, where are you from?
Dallas, Texas, sir.
And you like saying anything to your mother and dad?
Hi.
Not very talkative, are you?
Getting shorts, but
anything you'd like them to send you in the way of food or anything? Is the food here pretty good?
Food's all right here. I can't complain too much. They send me stuff, candy and cookies and things quite often.
You really appreciate that over here?
Yes, sir.
How do you like service right here on the base and so on? Pretty good duty?
Yes, sir. It's good duty. It's long hours, but the busier you are, the time goes faster.
How many hours do you work and how many days a week?
7 days a week, and the hours vary. If we get shot up a lot, we have to work all day and all night. Sometimes we just work 8 hours if all the ships are flyable.
Looking forward to going home?
87 days.
Spec 5 Hilton, your mother and dad have written us and said to say hello and wonder what you're thinking about over here.
I'd like to tell them hi and to take care of themselves until I get home in 18 days. And I would like to say that I love each and every one of them. And I'm looking forward to getting home after this year over here. It's been quite a long time. And sometimes it seems like it's been pretty hard to stand it, but I think I'll make it the rest of the way.
18 more days. I guess you can make it the rest of the way. You said earlier you were a sports fan and so on. You going to watch the Cowboys this fall?
Yes, sir. Me and my little brother, he's pretty well a sports fan also. I'm planning on taking him to all the games that I can, and I don't get out until November. So.
You heard about the new Texas Stadium?
Yes, sir, I have. It seems like it'll be a pretty good deal. There will be a little bit better seating arrangements, and it should be a little bit better going to the games, easier to see everything.
Hoping to win the championship this fall for you?
Yes, sir.
How about your little brother? Would you like to say something to him before we go?
Yes, sir. His name is Bill Jr., and I would like to tell him hi and be planning on going to the football games this fall.
I'm a personal driver for Colonel Boat, Group Commander, 160 Signal Group.
What's the most uncomfortable thing about this country to you?
Heat and humidity and insects.
Is that what you like least about the war, such as it is, and so on?
It's a little bit uncomfortable here, but we have it a whole lot better and are quite more fortunate than some of the other guys in different parts of the country. I feel very fortunate to be where I am.
Where do you usually live?
I live right here in this area, 160 Signal Group. We have our own barracks.
And when you move away from here, where are you going to?
I'm going back to Midlothian, Texas.
Anybody there you'd like to talk to?
Yes, my wife.
What'd you like to say to her?
I tell her to take care of herself and be good, and I'll be home before I know it. Be home before she knows it.
Spec 4 Thomas Roach, what do you do over here?
I'm a Jeep driver. I drive for Command Sergeant Major Totter of 160th Signal Group.
How long have you been in Vietnam?
27 months.
27 months?
Yes, sir.
How did you get here that long, or what do you like about this place?
Well, it's hard to say what I really like about it. Just the climate appeals to me, and the extra pay is pretty good. I guess today that's about it, and over here helping to do our part to keep our country free.
Mm-hmm. What about the guys at home, things you've heard about draft card burners and so on?
Well, I don't think too highly of them, and I'm glad that most of them get put in jail or some other place because they don't really do our country no good, and if they were sent over here, they'd probably do more harm than helpful to our cause.
That's great. What do you think about the lady that sent us the card 10,500 miles away and asked us to come to see you?
Well, I think my mother's just real great for sending that card in. I'd like to tell her hello and that I love her, and I should be home sometime September on my next leave.
Specialist 4 Wiley R. Kelly, whereabouts in Dallas are you from?
Pleasant Grove.
How do you like it over here?
Not too well. The heat's terrible.
You looking forward to getting out of here, and about how long do you have to go?
Got about 50 days, and I'm going back to Dallas.
What are some of the things that you don't enjoy? Not that maybe you hate, but the things that you don't like about being over here and in the midst of all this?
Well, it's just the environment in general. It's not a very healthy one, or the people are not very sanitary at all. I guess that's about all, really.
How about the fighting part of it?
Well, you can get used to the bullets and everything else, but you can't get used to this heat and long hours.
How about concerning some of maybe the battles that you've seen, and what about the political situation concerning this, and getting in there and having to wait to fire, this type of thing?
Well, I think we're doing a great job over here, but the American soldiers help back to a great extent. Like, for instance, in Saigon, a lot of occasions the GIs have had to, somebody shooting at you, you've got to wait and get permission to fire back. Somebody shooting at you, you just don't want to wait.
Not too healthy, is it?
It's not very healthy, it's true.
Yeah, one of the reasons you'd be looking forward to going back?
Definitely.
Anything you'd like to say to the guys back home?
Well, I'd just like to say hello to everybody, and I'll see you in about 50 days.
Captain, this looks like a plain old telephone. What does it mean to you?
Well, it is a standard ordinary dial telephone. In Vietnam, we have some pretty advanced communications. We have a lot of dial telephones installed. That's the work I'm in. We have around 6,000 telephone numbers in this area, the Saigon Long Binh area. There are a lot of others throughout the rest of the country.
Pretty difficult keeping them going under the circumstances here?
Well, yes, the dust and the heat here make a real maintenance problem for telephone equipment like everything else.
You find that the Charlie interferes at all?
Well, not with the telephone equipment directly so much, but we use cables on telephone poles, and occasionally, artillery and rockets and mortars give us a little problems. They give us quite a few problems.
Now, you have some people back home, I think. Would you like to say anything to your wife at the present time?
Well, my wife is living in St. Louis, Missouri right now. She won't see this. However, I'll be seeing her in Hawaii in 10 days, which I think beats a television presentation.
Wonder why?
Well, I don't know. It's just,
So much more personal.
Yes.
How about your mother and dad?
Yes, they live in Fort Worth. They'll get a chance to see this, particularly if I get a chance to get them notified here. And I think this will be very nice. They haven't.
Say something to them. If they're watching right now, just talk to them.
Well,
so you're on the telephone.
Well, let me say this. I wish I were there to talk to you on the telephone or see you in person rather than being here. This is the part I like least about being in Vietnam, being away from my family, really.
What's your name?
Martin Arzola, Spec 4.
And where are you from back home?
San Antonio, Texas.
What do you do while you're here in this strange land?
I'm a switchboard operator.
How do you like it over here?
Well, it's pretty good. The work is too much work.
How many hours and how many days a week do you work?
We work 12 hours a day and 7 days a week.
That's about what everybody does, isn't it?
Everybody.
You're looking forward to getting back to a 40-hour week back home?
Right, and a long vacation, too.
How many days do you have?
99.
99 more days to go. Spec 5 Britain, how much time do you have left?
35 days.
35 days?
Correct.
How many hours, minutes?
I haven't had a chance to figure it up today.
What are you looking forward to?
Getting home.
What are you going to do when you get there?
First thing is buy a season ticket to the Cowboys games, I guess.
How about the second thing?
Well, it's going to be on TV. I don't guess I better say, really.
I was going to say, your wife's going to get a little angry at you going down to buy those tickets first.
Well, I didn't think I ought to mention that since it's going to be on TV.
Well, you can say you're going to go home and tell your wife that you love her and say that you missed her.
Well, I don't know if I'll get home first before I do that or
not. Tell me about what you've been through over here and what you see over here when you take a look at the total war and your feelings on it. Now that you're going home, you can say a lot of things about what you have basically felt over the months here.
Well, I've been over here 15 going on 16 months, and I worked in the headquarters all this time, and really I haven't had a chance to see that much of the war. Of course, I have my own feelings about the situation, and basically my feeling is that we're definitely doing a job that has to be done over here. I'm looking forward to going home. It's been a long 15 months, and
But you feel the people over here are worth it? Do you feel that they're making advances? Do you feel it's an explanation for some of the gripes that people have?
I feel there's definitely been advances made in the 15 months that I've been here. The Vietnamese have taken over a lot more of the fighting, taken this burden upon themselves to a lot greater extent. Things have improved economically for the people. I guess our rural development programs have taken great strides in the last 15 months, definitely. True, after Tet, things did suffer a minor setback, but I think they're well on the way to full recovery again.
Now that you've been here and feel that you're getting ready to leave and everything, are there any last thoughts you have about what you've been through here? Do you think the guys here, for instance, are doing the job? Do you think the job is going to get done? How much longer do you think it'll take to get it done, etc.?
I would make no estimate on how much longer it's going to take to be done, the job to get done. There's people in Washington that have been studying the situation for a lot longer time than I've been in the service that will make no guess toward this, so I'd be way out in left field by even attempting to do so. All I can say is I just hope I don't have to come back, but if I have to, I will.
When you get home, you're going to run into some people who don't think we should be here. You have any thoughts about those people?
I just hope they don't live on my street. The people that think this, I would say that 99.9% of the ones that do think this haven't been over here. They don't know what's going on. I mean, true, I've said that I don't know that much about it, but I've seen enough to know that there is a job to be done, and it's better to do it here than maybe across the ocean in Dallas somewhere.
You don't want to say anything else about what you're going to do when you first get home, do you?
Yeah, I'll make that statement again. I guess kiss my wife hello and then buy the tickets to the Cowboy games.
Thanks a lot and good luck.
Okay, nice talking to you.
Lieutenant Colonel Wells, how long have you been here?
Bob, I've been here 10 months. I arrived here in August of last year, and I'll be going home next month.
What do you do now, and what have you done in the country since you've been here?
Well, ever since I've been here, I've been in the headquarters here, in the information office. When I first was assigned here, I was the audiovisual officer, but now I'm the public information officer, chief of the public information division in the information office.
And during your stay, you have seen the people and so on quite a bit. And in the 10 months, what differences have taken place that have been noticeable?
Well, when I first got here, I traveled around quite a bit. And I didn't know too much about the country at that time, and I didn't meet too many officials. By that I mean lower-ranking officials. But since Tet, and since I've gotten back out again, I think that there's more of a sense of, you might say, urgency, or more of a sense of duty than what there was before. That's just my personal experience and the people I've encountered.
And there has been a certain crystallization of effort toward improvement?
Oh, yes, definitely, yeah. Of course, before Tet, we thought we were on top of everything, and of course, Tet destroyed a lot of physical buildings and a lot of physical projects that we had going. I say we, I'm talking about in conjunction with the Republic of Vietnam. But now there's more urgency about it.
How do you feel about the Vietnamese people?
Very friendly. The ones I've encountered, very sincere. They have a different feeling, I think, towards their government than they did when I first got here, at least the ones I've encountered.
Do you think our efforts here are worthwhile?
I definitely do. I definitely do, yeah. After being in a unit, going down and see the units operate and talking to some of the troopers down there, I'm convinced that everything's worthwhile here.
How much time do you have left, and what are you going to do when you get home?
I'm on my way to Command General Staff College at Fort Leavenworth. I should be home about the 9th of July.